this video. Hello everybody and welcome to the first geometry lesson. Yes, we are done with the algebra series and now we are on the geometry series. This is the first geometry lesson and the 23rd video of the channel. One more thing, before anything, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more awesome content just like this. Without further ado, let's move on to our answers to our previous question. For our first question, the domain is negative infinity to infinity, and the range is 0 to infinity, where 0 you have a bracket instead of a parenthesis. A parenthesis instead of a bracket, especially for me. I like to say this is parentheses and this is bracket. A parenthesis means that it includes this value. So actually, we would have 0 to infinity including 0. For the second one, both the domain and range are negative infinity to infinity. For the third one, the domain is 4 to infinity, including 4, and the range is 0 to infinity, including 0. The reason we have 0 there is because what the function was is y is equal to the square root of x minus 4. Now, this means to take the positive square root. Otherwise, they would have specified in a piecewise function. That's what's called. That'll actually be covered that's actually more of a pre-calculus concept. Algebra, normally they don't cover it in algebra, but there's a long way to go then. But normally you would just take the positive root. So, if that's why we have 0 to infinity including 0. Let's go on to the lesson. Alright, today's lesson is about some basic geometry terminology that you should So, here I have a point. This is if you see this is a point. This is called a line. This is called a plane, and I think you get it. This is a line segment. The one on the middle here is a ray, and then there's an angle. These are the 6 most basic terms you must memorize, make yourself familiar with, in order to have any level of understanding with geometry. This is the most basic stuff that you should know, and that's what this lesson is devoted to. For today, we have 3 examples, and we want to identify what each of these represent, and I'll actually tell you a little more on what they mean. Now, I know that you might be like, oh wait, why not in the lesson? Why didn't you do that in the lesson? Well, if we're recognizing them, then I might as well explain them instead of just saying, oh, here it is, here's the explanation. Maybe I'll give you through a few examples, and then I can show you some more things that might have not been as clear in the lesson. So, for our first example, we have this figure, and we want to see what it is. Now, if you memorize it, and this is a memorization thing, it is a line segment. Now, a line segment is a piece of a line, as you can say line segment. And since we've already solved it and you're like, oh, the reason I'm saying more facts here also is I want you to memorize it and I want you to improve on this. For our second example, we have this figure, which actually is an angle. Even though the angle one I showed you there was this, they can come in all different. It can be this, there can be this, which is similar to what we have. There can be this, for all we know. So that's essentially the second example. For our third example, if you memorize the figures, which you should, and you can look at the lessons, maybe use some flashcards or do something else, and try to memorize it. And after that, this, as you should see, it is a line. L-I-N-E. Those are 3 examples. Today, we have 3 practice problems, and of course, these are the identify practice problems, same as the examples. Number 1, we have this figure. Number 2, there's this figure. And number 3, there's the figure on the bottom. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.